Hello friends, welcome to this episode of Liberty Creek. This episode, long time coming. I've had many requests, many people ask me to make a video on how to break down, clean, and put back together their AR-15 platform. If you have this here is my Connecticut Other, made by Arrow, great weapon. If you have any type of, you have an M16, anything like that, shooting 5.56, 223 on the AR-15 platform, this video will show you how to break it down, clean it, put it back together. And if that's the only reason you're here, I'm gonna throw up some times when I start those key things in the video so you don't have to hear me yap. If you're a subscriber, you know I like to yap. My normal content is me building my off-grid cabin in Vermont. You could go check out my videos. I have over 200 videos of me doing just that thing on the weekend, building a cabin in Vermont. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, give me that thumbs up, hit that like button. I'm gonna go ahead and try to put together a decent video for you to get you to clean your weapon in a very safe manner. Let's talk about safety. You have your weapon, you just went out to the store, you bought it, you went to the range, you shot a couple hundred rounds of 223, 5.56, whatever it is. You got carbon all built up, it's all dirty, or it's been sitting in the closet for years, and you shot maybe a couple thousand rounds through it, and you have no idea how to break down and clean this weapon. This video is for you. First of all, we'll start off. You should definitely always practice, whenever you handle any firearm, your safety rules. Remember, treat every weapon as if it was loaded. Never point your weapon at anything you do not intend to destroy. Okay, keep your booger picker there, straighten off the trigger until you're ready to send some rounds down range. And keep the weapon, these type of weapons have safe, keep them on safe until you intend to fire, okay? So basically, you have to break all the rules, all safety rules to end up getting someone shot. First of all, we take the weapon out. You're going to lock, pull back the charging handle. You're going to go ahead, put your catch here, go hold it down. It's going to catch the bolt, and you're going to lock the bolt back like so. When the bolt is locked back, you can look right in the chamber there. I got good lighting here. I can see there's no brass in there. If your lighting's not good, reach your little booger picker in there. Feel around. There's nothing in there. There's a lot of black carbon in there because I've shot probably, I don't know, 600 rounds through this since the last time I cleaned it. So it is definitely an empty, safe weapon. There's nothing in the magazine well here. There's nothing in this weapon. This weapon is totally safe. I know there's nothing in the chamber at all. So that being said, this is, like I said, this is a Arrow Connecticut Other. I built myself. I got the upper, the lower, the bolt. That's what I mean by building it. I've got all the parts to put it all together, and I have some Magpul pop-up sights on it, and I have a really nice, I really like this sight here. I have a hollow sun. It's got the little solar panel on there. It's great. I got a hollow sun on my Glock as well. Love them. The one on my Glock doesn't have a battery. That's what even made it better. I don't know. I forgot which one this one is. This one has a battery, I believe. Yes, it does. And the battery is inserted on the side, so you have to actually take it off and change out batteries. So that's why I went with this one. I remember now. If you're like me, you don't get too much time at the range, or if you're like me, you own a cabin with a bunch of acres and you do have your own range, you could go and shoot a lot. I don't shoot this weapon as much as I would like, so it sits in my safe for long periods of time. So you definitely want to get in there and clean it up and store it away. All right, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of cleaning this weapon. We'll go into the shop and I'll show you what you need to clean. It's a little tight. I got to clean it up in there. I'm always working on some project. So let's take a walk in there. All right, here we have it, folks. This is my little hobby room. It's right off the shop. The shop's in there. And basically, I have my compressor hose running in here as well, so I do have air if I need it. This is my hobby desk, and I got a lot of clutter. I'm sure it's going to get in my way. Usually I have all this cleaned up, but I've been slacking, very busy, a lot of things going on. You want to have a nice spot to clean your weapons so you don't lose anything, a lot of little parts. You want to get yourself a little container or something to put parts in. If it depends on what you're taking apart and how little the pieces are. This is usually pretty big pieces. I have other mats over here that I could lay out to collect the pieces. This is a bar mat, and you use it for bars to catch spillage of drinks and stuff. But I've noticed that has come in handy many times, and it holds on to your pieces for you. So you can get something like this made by Glory Fire. I got it, I believe, on Amazon. It's pretty good. It's the AR-15 version, and it breaks down the entire weapon, and it also lists off all the parts of the weapon. So if you have not been trained on taking apart, disassembling an AR-15 style weapon, that's always great to have. It'll teach you, give you some knowledge. You could also go on Google and probably just use Google Pictures and find something like this printed out for your little spot and learn something. All right, let me set up here. I'll show you some of the cleaning stuff you're going to need, and we'll go ahead and start breaking down the AR-15. All right, now we're ready to start cleaning. You need to take out all your cleaning supplies for your weapons. Since I was a kid, I went to Walmart one time with my father, and I bought myself, check this out, it's a toolbox. I think it probably cost like $10. So at that time I bought that, and I believe I bought maybe some cleaning sprays, and I've been now, every time I get something, I throw it in here. And there's a lot. There's, you know, there's almost 20 years of, maybe 30, almost 30 years of stuff in this box that I have picked up along the way. I'll show you a couple things. If you don't have anything to clean your weapon with, you could start off with a toothbrush, all right? A stiff bristled toothbrush. You could pick one up, or, you know, you could go to like the dollar store. I know the dollar store sells like these little brushes. Comes in a little case of 3, and I think that's at Family Dollar. And one's like, I'll show you them. I have some. One's a, this is kind of, I used it many times. I have more. One's like a copper wire brush. One's a silver wire brush. And it comes with just a same looking, it looks the same, but it's like a heavy duty brush. Oh, here it is. You could pick some of these up. These are basically exactly what the military issues you. It's just a brush, a small brush on the bottom, a big brush here. It's almost like a toothbrush, but it's really stiff bristles. Now, another thing you're going to need some rods, okay? It depends on what kit you buy. They come with rods, and at the end of the rod, you will get a bore brush. So you will run this brush down the barrel of your weapon. Some of these rods will spin to go with the rifling, and then you'll pull it back out. You'll do that several times. Also spray some cleaner down the barrel, and this will break up all the carbon that's built up on the inside of the barrel. And also you could take it for the AR-15 platform and M16. This will fit right into the chamber. You come from the other way, and I used to spin it around to break all the carbon that's stuck right into where the feed is. You'll see. I'll show you in a moment. Where the round is actually picked up and put into the chamber right there. You could get that to sit right in there and clean it up. Also, you have an option. They sell cables like this. I have a real long one in there. This is a shorter one. This is for pistols. Basically, you could put your bore brush on the end of one of the cables, and you could pull it through. You'll feed the cable through, it comes out the other side, you grab it, and you pull it through. And it does the same thing pretty much. Sometimes they have ones like, they have the snake. I have that too somewhere. There's one. I think this might be for the 223. So you have a snake. Now the snake has a built-in brush right there. And they sell these in different calibers. This has like a little weight on the end. You feed that down the barrel, then you pull, and at the same time, this is cleaning, and this is actually pulling all the crap out of the barrel. It's like running patches through as well. Now, if you don't have that, I always run a patch no matter what. If I use this a couple more times, I'll spray some lube down there and still run a patch. There's an eyelet. Eyelets look like, so this is one, because I can't find out attachment for an eyelet. I got it in there somewhere. Like I said, there's 30 years of crap in that box. So basically you would take a patch. Here's a patch. This looks like a shotgun patch. They sell them smaller to fit your barrel. What you would do is basically run this through the eyelet. Now you would run this through the barrel, and if it comes out looking like what that looks like, it means you need to take that off, throw it away, put another one on until you run it out and it looks just like it looked on the way in. That means you cleaned it. Okay, so that being said, the last thing to talk about is all the different cleaners and oils and stuff like that. You need gun cleaner. This is some of the like newer stuff. You could get some spray. I like the pump spray because you get stuff like this. A lot of people just waste this because it's so easy to just hold that down and spray it all over the place. And it's pretty expensive. CLP is a good brand to go with. You go to the store, you see the CLP, the black bottle, I think the orange writing. I always usually grab that. There's all different types that, you know, they all do the same thing. They break down the carbon. So you want to spray it on, let it sit, let it break down the carbon, and then you take your brush and you start brushing the carbon wherever the carbon may be, and then you take a nice clean white t-shirt, a white rag, some type of rag, you get in there and you wipe the carbon out. And you do that until whatever you're wiping comes out looking exactly like when you put it in. So when you get in all the nooks and crannies with your Q-tips is a very important tool as well. I have all different sizes here. You could get kits for weapons and stuff, but what I found out works the best is just normal Q-tips. You get the cheap ones in the dollar store, they'll fall apart on you. What ends up happening is you might get some of that cotton stuck somewhere where you can't get it out. Then you got to go and get yourself a pick or something to try to pick it out. And so get some good quality Q-tips, and when you're getting into tough spots, they just don't keep falling apart on you. These wooden Q-tips are really neat if you get the right kind. They work great, except for a lot of times as soon as you start cleaning, the actual wood breaks off. It's the Q-tip don't come off, the wood breaks off. So you got to get the right type, or you're just throwing those away. They're junk. I've been through many of them. Also, you have gun oils. Okay, so once you're reassembled or as you're assembling, there's certain things you have to oil. One thing that I see people do a lot of, way too much oil. They just drown their weapon in oil, especially handguns. And when they're at the range and they pull out that gun for the first time since they cleaned it and bathed it in all their oil and all lubed up, and this shit is dripping all over the place, they punch that weapon out, they pull that trigger, and they get a blast of lubrication oil all over their safety glasses. And they'll do that a couple more times, and then they'll stop spraying all over them. And that's one way to know that you're putting way too much oil. They have gun oil that looks like this. You can get it at Walmart. They got it like this to get in the little fine areas. But more than likely something like this. You could put a couple drops on a Q-tip, work in a certain spot, metal on metal. Most of the time there's some type of guidance where like there's might be a little loophole in the where somewhere on the bolt, and you put a couple drops in the loophole. There's different spots on different weapons where you should be putting the oil, and you could probably for your particular weapon go on and Google on YouTube and it'll show you. Lube is good. Too much lube is bad. Okay. All right, let me clean this up. We'll take the gun, we'll start breaking it down, folks. All right, so we know the weapon is safe. Here's the weapon now. I sent the bolt home. I closed the ejection port cover. Basically, at this point, there's two breakdown pins right here. 1, 2. We're going to go ahead and break down the back right now. Just the back one. Go over by where your selector switch is, okay? So some you could just push, and it'll start popping out the other side. Sometimes I take the back of my skinny brush here and push it in further, grab it. Sometimes you need something heavier, a punch or something, maybe a pencil, something that could get in there, a little Allen key, something that you could push and push it back so you can just pull it out. Once you pull it out, it's going to swing open like this, okay, folks? I'm going to push it, or like I said, you take something, you push it like that. And then if you look on this side, you see it's sticking up. You're going to come over, pull it up. And once that's done, you're going to break it open. So at that point, you can remove your bolt. By taking your charging handle, if you pull your charging handle back a little, it's all going to come out. I will grab my bolt. There's my bolt. Place it down. And then you're going to pull down on your charging handle. It goes up in a little slot there. Your charging handle will pop out as well. Now you have your two pieces out. This is pretty much, at this point, it's like field stripping your rifle. Something happened, you need to break it down. Take out your bolt. Take a look at it. Throw some more lube on it or something. That's how you would do it, okay? Inspect your weapon or whatever you have. Right now, the weapon is very dirty. So at this point, we're going to remove the front pin, and then you're going to have your weapon in two pieces. So just same as you did before, but with the front pin. This kind of is a newer weapon, so it's very easy to disassemble, okay? So there you have it. There's your two spots. Your two pieces, I should say. All right, I don't feel like taking off my, you probably want to take off, I guess I could, I really don't want to, but I got quick release on my sling. You could take off your sling and make it easier. I'm not taking off my sight, mess up my sight. It's sighted in very well right now. I'm going to try not to get any lubrication or any cleaner on my sights. Okay. All right, let's start cleaning. Also, as well, you can remove your buffer spring. How to remove your buffer spring? Remove your buffer spring. There's a little button right here on the bottom that holds it in. If you take your finger, push back on the buffer spring, take your fingernail, if you have the strength, there it goes. All right, so now it starts sliding out like so. If you hold down the hammer, you should be able to, man, it's gravity. Oh, there you go. You should be able to get it right over that, and it comes right out. So you can clean that up as well. So right now you should have your charging handle out, the bolt assembly out, and you just took out your buffer spring. Okay. Now from there, I take my spray. If you have this, whatever spray you have, you just get in there and you spray. You spray wherever you want to clean, where there's crap. Pretty much that's it over here. I always do the outside. That's the last thing. After I reassemble, I spray, I scrub, and I wipe it all down. But that's pretty much it for the bottom. If you have to, make sure you have something to catch extra fluid, especially if you're spraying it with a aerosol type of spray. That stuff just like goes all over. I rather have the pump, like I said, to control the spray. So put that there. Now for the good part here. I'll just spray all in the chamber, all the way here, and then I'll try to get it down into the actual barrel. Get the walls. There's a layer of carbon on absolutely everything. That I could promise you. There you go. That looks good. Oops. All right, that's good. Now the fun part, scrubbing. Scrubbing and more scrubbing. Well, if you haven't done so already, I would recommend putting on some gloves at this point. Grab yourself that brush, start scrubbing. You want to scrub everywhere you can. Now I'm also going to show you, if you put your weapon on fire here and you pull the trigger, hold down the hammer here, you could control it. You could lift up your hammer like that. So I see a lot of guys, they'll buy a can of like a computer aerosol spray, and they will spray a bunch of cleaner on it, and then they come back and they just like hit it with the air, and just that's not, don't do that. What I'm doing here, this is what you should be doing. But that's perfect. So I'll come back with the air now. Okay. So usually what I do is I will break it all down, go ahead, spray cleaner all over it like you just witnessed me do, go back, start brushing it all, then take the Q-tips and the rag, start wiping it all down, hit it with the air, get all the, if you have any of the, because this stuff is just like goes everywhere, and you want to make sure you dry it up. You want a pooling of cleaner sitting down there, and you're hitting that Q-tip and it's just soaking it all in, and you're not getting it all. So you don't want a bunch of cleaners just sitting in your weapon, so just as bad as lube. You don't want that. So you want to make sure you get all the cleaner out, especially if it's pooling on the bottom or something. Once that's all out, that's when you hit it with the oil. You put a drop here, where metal meets metal, stuff like that. And then you reassemble it. Once it's all assembled, I basically go over the whole weapon, especially if the weapon's been used many times, it's very dirty. The weapon here is not in bad shape at all. I'll probably just wipe it down. I will get this got a Birch Cade's flash compressor. I will definitely get into all those little fins there and spray that up. I might do a light coat of cleaner and wipe it all down, but this is a brand new gun. It's the exterior of the gun is nice. I did shoot in the rain though, so I want to make sure that I do clean it up real well. So I'll continue now with this part, and then we'll get into the bolt. This is where it's going to be really dirty. Oh, holy moly. Okay, so finally I was able to run a brush down here, a bore brush. Run it twice, and then I'm going to start wiping off all the carbon and run patches through this thing. If I could get something, if I can find an eyelet that'll fit through this thing. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, folks, so I ran the barrel twice. The problem I'm having is I have 30 years of crap in this box. I can't find everything that I need. And then I realized, I forgot, this is how I have 30 years of crap in the box. About 2 years ago, when I purchased this weapon and I built it, I actually got a brand new kit. And you could buy something like this on Amazon, or that is just for this weapon. And I've been struggling looking through that box for all types of stuff. You could get a kit like this probably for like 20 bucks. And look, it has a pick, it has the punch rods, it has everything. Everything, got patches, got a brand new brush. It's really nice actually. There's the eyelet. All I need to do is run an eyelet down it. And I wish I remembered I had this. Let's find myself a patch. It actually came with some patches. Pull that one out. A pick is always good to have, folks, if you have really built up carbon. It's like a dental pick. You can buy them. It's a tool for your AR. It's like a dental pick. This is good to pick off all the carbon, the hardened carbon. You can get in there and actually scrape it off if it's really baked on. It's always good to have in the arsenal of cleaning supplies. I always fold my patches, make it a little thicker, run it through the eyelet. And feed it downwards. Pull it through. Look at that. See how black that is? No good. So basically, you're going to do it again. Going to do it again and again and again until it comes out clean. Usually it takes about, I don't know. It depends how tight it is. When you're running it down, the tighter, the more it'll pull off the walls, the cleaner the barrel will become. You know, cleaning your weapon correctly isn't something that happens in 5 minutes. I mean, it doesn't take forever. But if you maintain your weapons, you keep up on it, you could pretty much clean them really fast. But it still takes time. That's why no one ever ends up doing it. I used to, every time I shoot, be very on it to clean. Man, I got home, I cleaned my weapons. I didn't have them sitting in my safe, just dirty as hell. But all right, folks, so you want to make sure you get in by the gas tube as well. Get behind that gas tube with a Q-tip. Get in there, get all the crap out. Look at that. You know, you want to make sure you're cleaning this chamber 100% clean. When you take Q-tip out or the t-shirt out, it should come out white. If it comes out white, your weapon is sparkling clean, and you would probably be able to pass a Marine Corp inspection. When I was in the Marine Corps,
my tour of duty runs another 85 years!
I cleaned my weapon. Now let me remind you, most of the time it was a clean weapon. Especially if they want to play games or we were just burning off time. You would just clean your weapon constantly. And they would come in your room or wherever you were. You're doing it in the barracks. You check them out. They'd come in and they would pick them up and they would look at them. And they would say, oh no, keep cleaning. Dirty, dirty. And you're like, are you freaking kidding me, man? I haven't shot this gun. I cleaned it like 20 times since then. But they would always find something. And not to toot my own horn, but a lot of times it wasn't me. It was always like my roommate or something that would get us all in the bind. That, you know, like even on like when we had to clean the barracks, it was always my roommate or something doing something stupid, making a mess. Or maybe it was just my sergeant. My sergeant didn't want us to leave on liberty or whatever. Come over, do an inspection, find a fingerprint on the light switch. I remember that one time. I said, jeez. I was the guy that always had to clean the damn toilets. I don't know why. Same thing at boot camp. That's what my assignment was in the morning. I was always cleaning the toilets. I think the toilets, not the urinals. The toilets. I was in Lejeune. We had to clean our room. I always cleaned the bathroom. Never got in trouble about the bathroom. I think one time, right before inspection, one of the guys went in there and used the bathroom. And he said, oh yeah, I cleaned it. The sergeant came in and he actually found a pube on the toilet seat. Oh yeah. We got freaking smoked for that. It was definitely from that Marine, because I didn't miss it. So, yeah. Pay attention to detail. Won't get you in trouble. Now, air is not necessary. You do not have to have air. You just gotta make sure, like I said, it just makes it easier for me to see, and you just gotta keep wiping, and you gotta keep make sure everything is clean. All right, first of all, if you take your bolt and give it a flick of the wrist, it should open. Pretty easy. It shouldn't be stiff. If it's like, if you go like that and it doesn't open at all, I mean, you should really flick it. Yeah, mine's open. Should open every time, just like that. Now, if you flick it and this thing starts like, you got a filthy weapon. You got to clean it. And so right here is your little breakdown pin. You want to go ahead and remove that. Sometimes you can just grab it with your fingernail, or take something. You're gonna get in there, you're gonna pull it up, you're gonna remove it. That, I believe this is your firing pin retaining pin, and there it is. Go take it out. It's a little copper pin. From there, you're gonna remove. If you look right here, is your bolt cam pin right up here. You gotta turn it. It should, well, first remove the firing pin. Fire pin's back here, I'm sorry. There it goes. Just give it a bang and that will fall out. So you have your firing pin, you have the retaining pin for the firing pin, and now you should be able to turn this right here. You turned it. That should pop out in your hand. Maybe. There you go. Lift it right out. Comes out. That's your bolt cam pin. I think I'm in focus here. I can't even tell. And now this will slide right out, folks. So you got your bolt, your extractor, it all come right out here. Oh, there it is. It's filthy. So again, I'll tell you right now, you're going to go ahead, spray on all this, and you're going to scrub it down. This can come off too. You could put pressure on this. There's a little retaining like pin there. You can push it out, and then you ease pressure off this. There's a spring inside, and that comes out. I would highly recommend never take that out. You lose that, it's a huge pain in the ass. There's really it's not necessary. Maybe if you shoot a lot, maybe once every year, once every couple years, you want to break it down even further. Here is your bolt gas rings. There's 3 of them. They should never line up. Okay, so there's a break in each gasket. They should never line up into a complete, just line up. They should all be staggered. So make sure they stay staggered. This is where all the carbon builds up, folks, right here. So what you want to do, sometimes you do have to come in here and scrape that with a tool to get it all off. This is nothing. This should come right off. So you're going to spray this all down, and you're going to hit it with the scrub. This is sometimes where those little steel brushes come in, if it's really caked on and nasty. I don't think so. I think once I spray it, let it set up, I'll come back, hit it with the brush. This will all clean up. Get down in there, get everything out. Make sure you don't get no Q-tips all stuck in there. Be careful. So start cleaning this. You want to spray down in there. You want to clean it really good. Clean it all up. Let the spray do its work. Let it break it all down, and then you wipe it up here, everywhere, folks. You want to spray and clean. This, everything, the pin, all the pins, get it all clean, all sparkling. Nothing comes out in the white, and then you're going to reassemble it, okay? And pretty much we're on the home stretch now. So spray, get your spray them, and start scrubbing. I will not bore you, but that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, let's reassemble. That took me a little bit. Again, remember, you could use this chamber brush here. This gets in really good and could get in and clean the bolt up very well. Also, something that's always good to have is pipe cleaners. Put simple pipe cleaners like this. This could get in some really tight stuff. You don't have to worry about like Q-tip heads falling off and stuff like that. So you could really get into those tight spots and run a pipe cleaner through it. Now, that being said, let's put it back together. Basically, you do the complete opposite that you did to disassemble it. Put this in. Now, this could turn into a nightmare for those people, those viewers that have never put together a bolt or disassemble and now trying to put it back together, it almost turns into like if you ever put a chain on a chainsaw and you get that figure 8 loop and you can't undo it. That's what happens basically. Okay, so let's put it in. Let's take it, get it inserted this way, just like that. And now you're going to turn it so the firing pin will go right through it, just like that. Now you take your firing pin, you feed it in from this side, it slides right in, went right up in there. And now what do we have to do? We have to go ahead and put our fire pin retention cotter pin thing in here like so. Maybe not. It's not lining. There it goes. Gotta make sure you line it up so it'll come through the other side. For some reason it's a little off. So that's it. We're all set. Now what you want to do is drop a little lube. I always like to put a little lube in the holes here, about 3 drops each. You can do whatever you want, however you want to lube. Okay. Wipe it down. Let's reassemble the weapon. All right, so we'll put buffer spring back in. If you wanted to, you could just basically wipe the buffer spring down. So let's grab the lowers, put buffer spring back in so that we don't have that on the bench anymore. That's simple. Just push it back in. And then the little knob will catch it, and that's done. Now, we'll grab our charging handle, which you should have cleaned as well, which I didn't. So just run this down here real quick. A little dirty, not much. What you want to do is you're going to hold it upside down. You look it down in there, just like a little saddle, little seat right there. That's where, if you look on your charging handle, it will match and it'll drop right in like that. And you'll slide it forward a little. You'll make sure the bolt is open like that. So you'll slide that right in. Bam, done. Now, if you want, this is where a good time where you can lube this up some. I always lube up the chamber a little bit, nothing crazy. All right, so now we're going to assemble the lower. Opposite, folks, just like we did before. Opposite. Pop it on like so. Boom. Weapons back together. Now this is where you run it a little bit, get to work that lube in. All right, folks, so disassemble, clean, reassemble. At this point, if you wanted to, you could spray down the weapon a little bit more, hit anything with the brush, wipe it all down. If you got the air compressor, hit it, get it all dried up and nice. If you have rust, this is when you really want to hit that rust up on the weapon. And that's it. Put your sling back on, you're good to go, ready to throw lead back down range. I hope this video helped some of you. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. This ain't my main content, but I do have a range at the cabin, and we do shoot a lot, and we have videos like this on our channel. It's just a basic educational video for people that have weapons like this and want to know how to maintain them and keep them running, keep them clean, and learn something. Basically, that's all I got for you, folks. I hope you learned something. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, do all those things. Give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Peace.